Welcome to Ogunquit, Maine, one of our favorite places to come and relax. You're looking down Main Street, Route 1 in Ogunquit, and this is a bit different of a walkthrough. I wanted to show you the Marginal Way, and this is a wonderful video if you just want to sit back and relax. Now in front of us, running to the left, which would be east, is Beach Street, which takes you to the beach. But we're going to go straight ahead down this street, which is called Shore Road. And this has a lot of really quaint shops. In fact, all of Ogunquit is filled with all sorts of really good eateries, including this one coming up on the left, which is our favorite ice cream shop called Sweet Peas. And most of the shops are built into these old houses that have been around since the 1800s. But we're going to keep walking down this street. The entrance to the Marginal Way, you can see the sign for the Sparhawk, is just beyond the Sparhawk. It's a little pathway that runs right around there. And if we go a little further, you'll see this sign over on the left by the hedges, and that's the formal entrance to the Marginal Way. Now, you could continue straight down Shore Road, take it all the way to the end, which would take you to Perkins Cove, and then you could backtrack and go north on the Marginal Way, but we're going to go south toward Perkins Cove. So this is a rather narrow path, and most of the Marginal Way is like this. For the majority of this video, I'm just going to let you enjoy it, and I'm not going to talk much. I'll just occasionally point out things of interest. As you would expect, being a busy tourist destination, there are plenty of places to stay in Ogunquit. And they range from really upscale places to moderate places, depending on how close you want to get to the ocean. And there is, in front of us, the Atlantic Ocean. And that, of course, is where the Marginal Way runs, is right alongside the Atlantic Ocean. Right now it's at low tide, so you can see a lot of beach there. And if you see these bushes over on the side, the bushes are sea rose, and you'll find them lining the entire Marginal Way. The path itself is about 1.25 miles long, about a half-hour walk. When you hear people talk about the rocky coast of Maine, well, there you can see what they mean.
down there.
I'm gonna...
Every so often you'll see these benches, which were donated in memory of various people. And they make a really lovely place to just stop and stare at the ocean and clear your head. And so we'll do that every now and then.
It has to be. I do.
I love how this tree on the right is being braced up by a small log. Occasionally you'll see signs like these. There's a lot of invasive species, plant species, that tend to choke the marginal way, and they're really trying to clean it up and make it much more visually appealing. Also, there's a website, marginalwayfund.org, that helps to repair the marginal way during storms. For instance, in early March of 2018, a massive storm came through and took out a lot of the shoreline around here. So they have a fund that helps pay for the restoration of it to make it enjoyable for generations going forward. And here's an example of some of the damage from the last storm.
Hi, Mom!
Well, I always knew you'd grow up to be an obnoxious young man.
The road on our right is Israel Head Road, and it circles around to Stearns Road. The lighthouse in front of us is mostly a decoration now, but it does have a a little strong box on it, so if you wanted to make donations to the Marginal Way Restoration Fund, you can drop your donations in that box. As you can see, there are some really beautiful homes along this walk. That one there on our right is actually only a few years old. And off in the distance there on the left is Ogunquit Beach, which you would get to from Beach Street. This is a memorial to many people who have helped with the restoration.
Without even having the language.
And off in the distance there you can see our final destination. That's Perkins Cove.
Stop it.
And as you probably suspect, all these roped off areas that you see along the way are from the storm damage. I'm amazed at how many elderly people walk the way, because it's not an easy walk. It's a lot of uphill and downhill. I've even seen people with walkers doing the Marginal Way, and that's great. I mean, the sea air is good for you, and the exercise is good for you. Just realize it's a pretty strenuous walk. But you do have a lot of those benches where you can sit down and relax. And we're now arriving at the Perkins Cove area. The Cove is like a miniature version of Ogunquit itself. Lots of restaurants and shops. One of our favorites is the Lobster Shack, which is located at the end of the Cove. The restaurant you see in front of us is the Oarweed, which is also good. Across the street from that is Barnacle Billy's, Jackie's too. There's lots and lots of different places to eat and things to do. There's also a boat ride you can take here that goes all the way out to Nubble Lighthouse, the famous lighthouse that's further down to the south. Now the street that you see in front of you is Perkins Cove Road. If you followed that to the right, it would lead you back to Shore Road, which then takes you back to the center of Ogunquit. And that's Barnacle Billy's, which was a favorite stop for the Bush family. George Bush Sr. lives in Kennebunkport, which is a little bit further north, and they would take their sailboat in, dock in Perkins Cove, and then eat at Barnacle Billy's. Parking here isn't cheap. In fact, there are actually several lots. There are some more of them that are behind us. But, you know, if you did want to just park your car here and walk around the cove itself, you could do that. And this is the little circle of gift shop and restaurants. And over on the right, where you see people walking, that's a drawbridge that operates quite frequently. So, that's your trip to Perkins Cove and the Marginal Way in Ogunquit. Hope you've had a relaxing time. So if you're ever out in the southern Maine area, for instance, going to Funtown Splashtown Amusement Park, then this makes a wonderful side trip. Or, if you're like us, a wonderful vacation all by itself.